Hi, Shari.
Hi.
Well, let me start over again and say I'm here with Miss Shari Marshik of the Upper Midwest Film and TV. And welcome to Pictures Up, Shari.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Upper Midwest Film and TV. What do you do there, and what does the organization itself do?
Right. So we kind of lovingly call ourselves UMFO because it's a big mouthful. But so at UMFO, we are a nonprofit that is serving all of northern Minnesota and northwest Wisconsin. And our job is to advance the creative economy by connecting storytellers to workforce, essentially. We do that a lot of different ways, but in short, we're trying to build and grow the media production industry in the state.
Mhm. Okay.
And we do that by connecting people. And so that comes in a lot of forms. We have a database that people can sign up. It's free. As I said, we're nonprofit, so we don't charge for this, but we set people up to be able to put their information in. And if you're crew, you can say, I'm a genie person, I've worked on this and I've done this, and please hire me, kind of thing. And then an incoming production can go onto that database and say, okay, I need 5 grips. Let me see what they have. And then it's up to the person to get that person themselves hired. We don't necessarily make recommendations by any means. It's our job just to create a platform where people can connect. We do that with services. We do that with businesses that want to serve productions. And so, we formed this last year in 2020, but film is not new to the Northland. My business partner, Ricky McManus, has been in the industry for a very long time. Her first casting job was Purple Rain, which I think is kind of fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was Lynn. I know they know each other, but I
Yep.
thought that was
Lynn
Lynn
Blumenthal.
Blumenthal.
Right. I think Lynn actually bought Ricky's business
Oh, I was
when she
wondering
was.
what the connection, because when I
Yeah.
met Ricky, she asked me if I knew Lynn Blumenthal, and I said, yeah, she got me my first, national television gig. And so, but after that, I was wondering how they knew each other. So that's
Right.
how, okay.
Yeah. So Ricky and I formed a year ago, but she's been doing this for 30 years. But we're just stepping on the gas up here in the Northland. And so we call ourselves the easy button. We're trying to connect people to productions, to offices, and relationships that they need, any kind of, and then obviously crew and services are a huge part of what we do. And then workforce development, which I'm super excited to talk about with you. And then just promotion and marketing, reaching out and actively selling our region. So we've been in existence for about 8 months. It's going quite well. One of the reasons why now, like why now and not why didn't this happen 15 years ago? And now we have a number of incentives for films to start creating. And that's really the game changer, which allows us to actually sit at the table and say, wait, we want you to produce here. So that's how we came to be. And we are very grateful to our sponsors. We started with a seed grant from St. Louis County, IRRB, and we have some others, DEED, and some others that we are working on. So we are really working hard to sort of be that conduit to all of the pieces in creating what we're creating.
Okay, wonderful. Before I move on to the next question, what is that? Where should actors and filmmakers and crew members, where should they go to put their information on the database that you mentioned?
So I want to be super clear because, and this is why I'm excited about what you're doing, is that we don't represent actors.
Right.
We only represent below the line. We don't even represent, we only have a space for below the line crew. So actors, We have a couple of agents that are in northern Minnesota that are just trying to connect people right now. One is Polished Perception. Her name is Keely Gillino. And there are some other extras, castings, people that can all be found on our website, www.uppermidwestfilmtv.org. And that is the world's longest URL. But I can put it in the chat for you too, but it is what we have. And so they should go there, create a profile for themselves, and then just know that you can put as much effort into that as you'd like and as little, but otherwise there's no other way productions can find you unless you know somebody who knows somebody. So that's like the one free space that you can absolutely put everything. There's space for pictures, and there's space for portfolios and websites and all that kind of stuff that you can put in there. Actors and actresses still to this day need a good space to do that. And we don't have that right yet, but we do have access to people who are up here that can connect you.
Well, that's a little bit curious, because wouldn't it be the same space? I mean, if a group decided, or, somebody else on the crew, like HMU or whatever, they were put in, wouldn't it be the same for an actor and actress, or?
It is and it isn't. And to be honest with you, this is still a gray area for us, but it has to do with representation. And I don't have a good answer for you.
Okay.
Because most people are represented by an agency. And I have questioned this since I started in the last 8 months. So at this point, we don't have a space for actors and actresses, but we are interested in trying to figure out how we can find maybe the space. If not us, who else could that be, and how else could we connect? What we will be doing, just so you know, is that we will be posting casting calls on any of our social media. So if there is an opportunity for people to work, they should still follow us and be on our emailing list, because we will put out as much as we can. Our goal is to get as many people working above and below the line, period, at the end. Right now, we can only affect in the database the below the line crew. We use a national database. It's not just ours. It's called Real Scout. And it is what is used across the board. So it's not just us, it's the same one that Georgia uses, the same one that North Carolina uses, you know what I mean? And so that's just how they work.
Oh, okay. So it's also kind of like a conflict of interest also with representation with the agencies and whatnot. So, okay.
Right.
All right. So talk to me about the new Minnesota Film Incentive.
Yes, I will. So it's interesting.
And how does it benefit actors?
Exactly. So there are, and I'm going to speak mostly to northern Minnesota, but northern Minnesota is in greater Minnesota, so it's all applicable. In Minnesota, so I'll start in the state, there are 2 incentives that are available. One is a rebate, and I can share my screen and show you. I'm going to share. Hang on, let me get some of this out of here so that you can see. Okay, you're seeing a PowerPoint slide, correct? Okay, so I'm going to speak first and foremost to the top of the screen, which is the state incentive. So the state of Minnesota has 2 incentives. There's a cash rebate and a tax credit. They're 2 different programs aimed at 2 different size productions. So the first is a 25% cash rebate. That is very similar to what we have in northern Minnesota that I'll talk about in a minute. But it has a lower minimum spend and is very much aimed at commercial features, maybe tiny little series, but they're lower budget, but indie productions.
Okay.
And then the other one is a tax credit. And the reason why this is so important to the future of film and TV production here in Minnesota is that you see that our state cash rebate is limited at $500,000. That would be eaten up in less than an episode of any large production. So it's not big enough for us to draw people here. Now that we have the transferable tax credit and it's capped at 5 million, that's still very small. Georgia doesn't have any limits. It used to be limited at 40 million. It's very small in the scheme of things, but it's really important for Minnesota. And the reason why it's important for Minnesota is that over the years, production has sort of seeped away from Minnesota, and therefore the jobs and therefore the talent. And so what this means is that now productions can and will come here. What this means is that now there could be more stable work, continuous work for all of us above and below the line. And so our goal in the next 2 years is to demonstrate how this puts people to work and allows people to live, work, and thrive here in the state so that we can then increase it. And when you increase it, you get bigger projects, better paying projects, all of those things. But it is, we have to start somewhere. And this is enough for us to get some really nice projects. It's a number of Dear White People projects, because you were in Dear White People, right? Is that correct?
I was just an extra, but I was in it.
Yeah, don't say just, you were in it. So it allows us to get a number of projects of that size so that people can start working, building their portfolios, and then being able to get the next job and the next job.
Right.
And so that's why these incentives are so important. Without them, the projects will come here if they're passion projects for the creator, but not as a regular business deal. So on top of that, in northern Minnesota, there are two more. One, they're regional and they're based, they're focused in getting people to work here in northern Minnesota. And so there's one for St. Louis County, which is capped at $1 million. Really, really, really an awesome start for us to say, hey, bring your project here. We're going to grow our workforce. We're going to grow our infrastructure. Bring your project here. We want you here. And then there's a third one that's in the Taconite district. And you'll see in this picture here, you can be in Minnesota, and then you can be in this little spot that's green called St. Louis County. You can be in St. Louis County and in Minnesota, and you can use both of those incentives. And then if you're in the Taconite district, which is here, and you're in St. Louis County and you're in Minnesota, you can get all three.
I see.
So now productions are like, whoa, that is, now it has to be local spend. So actors and actresses have to live in Minnesota and St. Louis County and the Taconite district. But if they do,
that's good for me.
Do you live up here?
No, but you said Minnesota.
Yeah, in Minnesota.
I live in the Twin Cities.
Right. So you would be, if they hired you, you would be eligible for reimbursement. They would be eligible to reimburse your wages at 25% if it was shot up here, 20% in Minnesota or Minneapolis. So that's a lot in the weeds, and I don't know if you really want me to get that deep, but it's, the point is that without these incentives, these businesses won't bring their projects here. It just, they're going to go to one of the 30 some other states that have them,
right?
Or Canada, and we don't want that. We want it to. We have talent here that we want to grow and we want to keep, and so we're thrilled, and we're working really, really hard to make sure that we've got people taking advantage of those incentives.
Okay. Now, as a part of that, I know that the Catalyst Festival is coming up at the end of the month. Talk to me a little bit about that and how you're involved in that.
So I actually got into this whole thing by meeting Philip Gilpin Jr. I had volunteered and said, hey, do you need help with anything? I'd love to learn more about it. My background isn't in film and TV production at all. My background is in marketing and communications and project management. So it was a completely just kismet thing. And through learning about it and learning what Catalyst was doing and then understanding what the industry was, that's when my light bulbs went off and I was like, holy buckets, this could be a really good thing for our region. And that's how I fell in love with it. Regarding Catalyst, Catalyst is the longest running, I'm going to get the facts wrong, but the independent TV festival. They've been around for almost 16 years, and it is not a film festival. And it's important. And that's, and the reason why that's important is because films and episodic are they're financed differently. And so if somebody has an idea for an episodic, how do they get that created? You know, if you create a film and then you sell it. But if you have an idea for a series, you might create a pilot, but you're certainly not going to create all the episodes. And so you're selling a different thing to the marketplace, right? Mm-hmm. So what's cool about Catalyst is that they are, they connect people to the industry in a way that's not available anywhere else. And so they have some really cool partnerships with a lot of different people, a lot of different organizations like the academies and just our, you know, the typical platforms that have episodic, like Hulu, Netflix, ABC, CBS, all of those. But what's cool about the actual festival is that it's very casual. It's about meeting and connecting and finding your people, right? And so, and in the middle of it all, there's a marketplace and people are selling their ideas, but it's also about the community and the connections that are created at Catalyst. We in Duluth got Catalyst here a couple of years ago, and then the pandemic hit. Mm-hmm. So this is the second one in Duluth. We are thrilled to have the festival here. The festival is the end or the frosting to a year's worth of work that they have been doing with other people. And so the cool thing about Catalyst is that behind it is this institute where they connect people. They say, somebody comes to them and says, I have no idea where to get started. I have this idea. How do I do this? Mm-hmm. And then they can go through a series of workshops. They can get connected with mentors. They can do all kinds, and it's accessible. It's super accessible. There are scholarships available. They want it to remain accessible to the greater community. So you don't have to go to LA and you don't have to go to New York. You can do it right here in Minnesota. In fact, they're based here in Minnesota. And that's what's so cool about Catalyst. The reason why we at UMFO think it's so important to support Catalyst is that it is bringing the eyes of the world to Minnesota and to Duluth. Every year, we have industry decision makers, we have producers, we have creators, we have actors and actresses doing table reads, doing all kinds of things here in Duluth. There is no bigger marketing campaign that we could have because they come here and they see us and we talk to them and we connect with them and they see the beauty that we have and they see the opportunity that they have. And then we say, shoot it here, shoot your project here. And so Catalyst is important to the community because of all of that, but it's most important to the community that it creates with the creators and the storytellers, giving them a place to thrive. And that is, it can't be more important than that.
Mm-hmm. And it's a wonderful place for actors to go to meet people, correct?
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. There are a lot of actors that come, and we highly encourage it. There are networking events. Honestly, you can just walk into we're small here, right, in Duluth. So you can walk in during the week of Catalyst to any one of these establishments and sit down and just start having conversations. And then all of a sudden it's, I know somebody that knows somebody. And now you've made real connections instead of nothing wrong with LinkedIn, but you know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
So it's, there are a lot of opportunities for actors and actresses.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I took note of the words hustle and marketing strategy in your bio, and you also mentioned that you had a marketing background. So what are the best ways that actors and models can create buzz to advance their careers?
It's networking. Mm-hmm. It really is networking and being and hustle. It does come down to that. It's not giving away your soul, but it is. And this is I have very limited experience in this industry. So I by no means am an expert here, but I can tell you what I see from the outside as I've come in from the outside and knowing my background in corporate America. And the cool thing is it's about reaching out. It's about making yourself available. It's about keeping up with your portfolio, with your resume. It's about just stepping up and saying, I can do this, and having the self-confidence. There is nothing better than that. And then taking advantage of the opportunities that are presented in our state. I mean, there's so many opportunities. And right now, I feel like there's this zeitgeist of creating the industry again here and getting out there and volunteering. How can I help? What can I do? And then all of a sudden you meet somebody that knows somebody, and it happens. It does. So take advantage of Catalyst. Come on up. Let us know that you're here. Have us introduce you to somebody, and then that somebody's going to introduce you to somebody else. This isn't an ad for Catalyst. I don't want this to be an ad for Catalyst, but it's a great opportunity, and we would love to have you here. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do a shameless plug that there are, over time, I don't know when you're going to push this out, but we do have a networking seminar that we're doing, where it actually starts tonight. So depending on when you push out this, it could be, maybe we'll do another one. We definitely will do another one before Catalyst next year, but we have, it's called How to Network in the Arts and Entertainment Industry. And I think the coolest thing about what this is that it's talking about your expectations in networking. You're not selling and trying to get your next job. You're trying to make a connection with somebody. And I think that's important in saying, people hire people. And so I just think it's a really good opportunity. And if that's something that your viewers are interested in, or your students are interested in, please, we will connect with you. Now that we've connected, for sure, I'll make sure that you have an advance notification of all of this. But yeah.
Okay. Shoot, I was getting ready to say something else about oh yeah, the networking. Yeah, I did receive that. But is that going to be recorded so that you can look at it at a different time? Because I know one of them is today.
Right, we will record it. We actually, I need to make sure, actually, I'm going to make a note. Yes, we will record that for later. Okay. And maybe we can work through something that way. Yeah.
Yeah, because I would love to attend that, but I have to do something. I was supposed to attend, and then I thought, oh, shoot, I have something else I'm supposed to do tonight.
Life is busy. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and just you just mentioned zeitgeist, but I love that place in Duluth. I love it. Yeah, it's wonderful. Are there any activities and catalysts that are going to be there? Okay.
Yep.
So,
yep. Definitely.
So any last words of advice for actors, filmmakers, or any advice in general?
I think it's just about putting ourselves out there and saying, right now in Minnesota, we have so many opportunities for us to connect. We have work to do. I'm well aware of that, but if we can connect and all work toward that single goal together of building the industry here and using our strengths to do that, and in any way that we can do that together, never before, I don't think, in the history of Minnesota has there been such an effort toward doing that. And if you are interested in getting involved, if you live in Minneapolis, you can connect with the Min Film TV board. That's the state board. You can connect with us at uppermidwestfilmtv.org. You can connect with the wonderful people at Film North. You can connect with Catalyst. You could connect with, there's a number of other academies that are out there, but I think what you are doing, Val, what you are doing is phenomenal. And if anybody can look at what you're doing, because it's real life experience, right? Like, I can't wait to pick your brain over this and how you've created it. And and that is exactly what we need, is people to share their experiences so that other people can then learn and grow from them. And so anything we can do to help support that, we are all about doing. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Oh, that makes me feel wonderful, Shari. Oh. I'm serious, it really does, because that is exactly what I'm trying to do. And it has been a while. I'm hoping for actually a launch at the beginning of the year. But it has been a long time coming, and I have put a lot of work into it. So, well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate
Yeah, I
that.
mean, I see what you're doing, and I don't know how exactly I can help, but if I can, please let me know because I think it's important.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. So, Shari, thank you so much for joining us on Pictures Up. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that we connected. I'm glad that I reached out to you,
Me
and
too.
you
Me
have been
too.
a wealth of information. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.